could I ask you to welcome Vinu?
The title for today is 50-50 B&B story. How many of you have now in your mind about a story that happened in a B&B somewhere in the Scottish Highlands in room number 50-50? Oh, I get a hand up from the back side. That's good. It's not that, slightly different. I'll give you a hint. There is nothing that you could say to me that I could ever believe you. People heard him telling to Mr. Tony Blair in October 2004 when the then British Prime Minister appeared to break promise on a guarantee not to fight a third term of government. Poor man was the Chancellor of Britain for 10 long years. He wanted to be the Prime Minister, and of course he did for a good period of time and very successfully. Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Before I tell more about this Brown Blair story, that's the B&B in that. Let me give a bit of background to the location where this story has happened or is going to happen. The location is heaven. B&B are going to meet up in heaven. And of course this is happening somewhere in year 50-50. Have you ever thought how heaven looks like? I know, it's one of the best places to go. I've heard about this place when I was 5 years old. I remember the time when my grandmother used to tell me the stories about the different worlds that exist outside, inside, etc. She told me Earth is where we live, and we are humans. And she used to tell me the mythical tales, the Indian tales, which tell about other worlds like heaven and hell. My grandmother used to tell me, if you do all the good things on earth, someday you will go to heaven. Well, that was amazing. And that sowed a seed on my mind that I should never do anything bad, because at the end of the day I have to go to heaven. So that's something about heaven. So with that thought of heaven, let's go get on the time machine and go to heaven to visualize what has happened in the B&B story. It's year 50-50. Mr. Brown passed away. After the very great funeral that we received, with even attendance from the royal family, he walked gorgeously to heaven. Knocked the doors of heaven. You would think the doors may not have opened for him, but no, it got opened. The gatekeeper opened the door. He said, "Welcome, Mr. Brown." Mr. Brown got amazed. That's good. The gatekeeper told him, "I'm here to take you to Mr. Mayor's office." The Mr. Mayor, who heads the heaven, invited Mr. Brown to his room. So whilst they were completing the registration formalities and all, Mr. Mayor of heaven explained that I've got a computer with me. I've got all the good things and the bad things and the crimes that you have done. You have done not a lot of crimes, but you have done some. I can find that from the database. And to neutralize that and then to enjoy the best of the heaven's facilities, it looks like you may have a little bit of punishments that you may need to have. Mr. Brown got doomed. Oh, okay. What next? So Mr. Mayor opened the computer, he listed out, he looked into the database and found all the things that Mr. Brown had done. He read all those out, and Mr. Brown said, "Okay, I never knew that that was a crime. Okay, that's fine." Okay, it all happened. Okay. Mr. Mayor said, "Don't worry, Mr. Brown, I can do something for you. if you can tell me a wish, I can, fulfill that so that you're kept happy. Mr. Brown thought and thought. He said, oh, Mr. Mayor, I would like to meet Tony Blair. Amazing. Mr. Mayor agreed, and he took Mr. Brown to a room, knocked the door. And you know what Mr. Brown found? He found Tony Blair dancing with the gorgeous Marilyn Monroe. All great, but Mr. Brown got doomed. Now, they both went back to Mayor's office. Mr. Brown pinched in and asked, Mr. Mayor, Tony has done a lot of bad stuff than me. He has led Great Britain for years and years, and he even offered unflinching support to President George W. Bush to make Great Britain the 51st state of the United States. Still you're saying that he's getting all the best things in the world he's enjoying? Mr. Mayor said, no worries, God, relax. What you see in the other room is actually Merlin's punishment. You see, we are running a bit late, so don't worry about that. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I hope you enjoyed the 50-50 story, the 50-50 B&B story. And I would like to leave you with a message this night. Can you visualize a world with no more death, no more pain, no more hunger, no more sorrow, no more cries and sickness? A world where everything is a joy and pleasure. A society where everybody respects each other, works together in harmony, cooperation and love. That's heaven. There's only one path to heaven on earth, and that's love. I hope you will forgive me for my unsuccessful attempt to emulate Lord Brown's mannerisms. Thank you.